Pollers, welcome to my YouTube channel. Eileen here with a new pole tutorial. Today we're going to be learning how to do the iguana. This is an intermediate trick, so make sure that you have the solid base to try this. Let's get on the pole. Alright, so we're going to try this from the floor and then from up the pole, and I'm going to show you from the front and behind so that you can make sure where everything goes. Before I show you down here on the pole, I want to mention some things that are very important to keep in mind, which is when you go for this trick, you're always supposed to get the shoulder on the pole, okay? So always go with the shoulder as a shoulder mount. Never go with the neck or your spine or your head against the pole. It's never supposed to be like that. Always the shoulder muscle on the pole, never the spine, the neck, or the head against the pole. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is your arms. Your arms are never going to be completely straight. They're going to have a micro bend so that you can actually lift your body up, alright? So make sure that those arms are on a micro bend to push yourself up or down from the trick. And then the core must be really tight and engaged. This is super important. And you're going to start with your legs on a straddle. This is from the floor. From up the pole it's going to be a little different because we're going to come up from another trick. But from the floor we're going to go from a straddle. Alright, so let's get first behind the pole. I'm going to get the right shoulder on the pole. As I said, shoulder on the pole, not the head or the neck. So this is not supposed to happen. Never go like this. Always go here. And then we're going to get the opposite arm on top of the shoulder. So if I have my right shoulder, then my left arm is going on top. And to get those arms up, I'm going to turn my body so that I can spot where to put the arm. So I'm going to turn, I can spot the pole and put the arm on top. And then the same with the right arm. Still with the pole on the shoulder, keeping the legs on a straddle, I'm going to keep those arms with this micro bend that you can see and pull myself up, engaging my core and keeping the legs straight to come up into a pencil, and then the legs are going to go forward, bending them. So pushing up, pencil, and then legs forward. Let's see it from the side now. Again, getting the shoulder on the pole, spotting my arms up, keeping those arms micro bent so you can really pull yourself up, keeping that straddle position. And you can definitely kind of jump up into the iguana, but it's better for you to control coming up by really engaging the core, alright? So let's really try that. Engage properly, push the shoulder into the pole and coming up into the pencil, and then the legs bend forward. Alright, let's see it from the front, and I'm going to do my left side now. So I'm going to get the left shoulder on the pole, which means that the right arm is going to go on top. So I'm looking at the pole to get both arms there and making sure that I have my shoulder pushing against the pole and my arms in this micro bend so that I can push my body up. And for this trick, always the lower you are, the easier it'll be. So if you start really low, it's going to be much easier. Before I started much higher, so now I'm going to start really low so that you can spot that it's much easier, because the lower you start, the higher your hips will already be. So it's less body weight that you have to bring up. So the lower you start, the easier it'll be. So keeping that straddle position, arms micro bend, up to pencil, bending, down the same way. All right, so now let's see it from up the pole. I would say that from up the pole is actually easier than from the floor, and it's much different because from up the pole we're going to come from a layback, and instead of bringing ourselves up into a trick, we're going to bring ourselves down. So I find this a lot easier, but you try whichever you want to. Maybe try from the floor a couple of times to understand the position, and then try from up the pole, or vice versa, whatever you prefer and whatever feels better for you. All right, so I'm going to go for a couple of times. And into my layback. From here, we're going to take the arms exactly like we did before. I'm going to go again for my left shoulder, so I'm going to get the right arm on top of the left. Again, keeping those arms with this bending position, they're not straight. And sliding the legs so that you can get the left shoulder on the pole. Once you slide, you can open up to straddle, bring them back, back to straddle, back to pencil, or even come down and up. And you can come back to the layback, or just like I am doing down, whatever you prefer. All right, and I'll show you now from behind, up the pole as well, so you can spot it too. So going from that layback position, now I'm going to let the left arm on top, because I'm going to get the right shoulder on the pole. So sliding the right shoulder down, going to that straddle, back, straddle, and down if you want. Up again. All right, so for this trick, it's very important for you to really engage the shoulder on the pole. Remember, you're never putting the head or your spine or your neck against the pole. Never do that, that's really dangerous. So make sure that you are always engaging the shoulder as you do on a shoulder mount. Then remember that your arms are always going to be opposite from the shoulder. So if you're doing your right shoulder, then the left arm goes on top, and if you're doing the left shoulder, then the right arm goes on top. And then remember that the arms are going to start bent and finish bent so that you can control coming up and down from the position. But once you get to Iguana, you can straighten them out. You can keep them bent if you prefer and you feel safer, but it's much better and controlled that once you get up, you are going to straighten those arms, because you're going to be completely pulling and maintaining your body on that position with your arms, so they are better straight. Again, they're going to be bent to come up and down of the position, because only when they are bent you can control coming up and down. But once you get into a position, they can completely be straight so that you can stay there and hold the position. Either you're holding on a straddle with the legs forward, on a pencil, whichever version that you choose, you can stay there with straight arms, and when you decide to come out, you bend them again. That is really important, because with the arms you can control coming in and out of the position and staying on the position. So again, bending to come in and to come out, and straightening to stay on the position in whichever position you choose, either pencil, straddle, or legs forward. Then of course you're always going to keep your core really tight. This is the most important part. This is a lot of core, getting your body all the way up or down. If you're doing it from a layback, you gotta have a lot of control, so make sure that you have a strong base on your core. And then keep your legs really tight and straight. You're only going to bend them if you get them forward, but the rest of the time keep them straight so that you can really control the position. If you start bending your legs before, it's going to get really wobbly, and maybe you're not going to be able to control the position as much as you'd like. So I really suggest that you keep your legs straight and tight and engaged at all times. Even when you bring them forward, they're still going to be engaged. You're not relaxing anything. So make sure that you keep your legs really tight and engaged as well. So really important, again, as I said, the shoulder on the pole, the position of the arms, the core, and the legs. And then the different variations that I did when I went up the pole from a layback, you can try them if you want. You can maybe start with a pencil, feel how everything goes there, and if you feel comfortable, then you can try with the legs to the back, or maybe you start with a straddle, play around, see what feels best for you. You don't have to do everything that I just showed you, especially the last part where I go from the straddle all the way down and then the way up. That's really advanced, so only try it if you have dominated the pencil, the legs forward, and the straddle, okay? And only try it if you feel comfortable trying. Just start from the beginning, go easy. First go with the pencils, the straddle, the leg forward, and lastly that coming down on a straddle. So take your time, try everything slowly, and I highly recommend that you use a mattress down on the floor to be extra safe on your practice. Alright polers, so I hope that you learned how to do the iguana. Remember that this is an intermediate trick, so you gotta make sure that you have the foundations to try this trick. And again, take it step by step. As I said before, try just a little each time. Remember to try both sides. Be patient. This is not an easy trick, so take your time. And the most important part, have fun. And of course, try both sides, even if one is going to be much harder than the other. Just do your best. I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications, and drop in the comments all the feedback or questions that you have for me. As always, I am very happy to connect with you through any social media, so please feel free to reach out. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope I will see you soon on my next video.